Hi everybody, welcome back to Talking Tips with Toni. If this is your first time, I hope you enjoy this. If you're coming back, I truly appreciate the fact that you're enjoying these videos and you want to see them again and again. So today I am very excited to introduce you to my friend, fellow eWomen member, and Katrina Garcia, who is a website maker, creator. She is the guru of websites. But let's give you her bio. Recently, Katrina Garcia changed business directions to better serve her clients' needs. Even though she was providing a wealth of marketing services, she found that she could really provide value for her clients by simplifying her services down to just two: creating money making web and membership sites. After many years of working in the marketing field, she found that it was better to concentrate on the one thing every business owner should have in place: their website. Remember, this is all about that one thing that could change everything. Yep. This could be it. She found she could provide more value and get better results by working to perfect the one thing all business owners should be working towards, and that's getting a website that can grow their list and make them money. She's been in the business for over 12 years and has seen all the many changes in marketing, but believes that in order to grow, you must adapt to the market. Thus, the reason she created KG Website Designs. It is her passion and mission to help all of her clients grow their list and to make more money. And don't we all want to make more money? Yay. So welcome, Katrina. I'm so excited that you're here.
This is exciting.
Yeah, kind of fun. She just launched this new business and her website has just been launched. So she's been through this herself. So she's going to share with you, what challenges she's had and how she can help you overcome those. So just tell us a little bit about what you used to do.
Well, many things.
We don't have that much time.
Yeah, really. I mean, just to give a little bit of background, I started my business as a virtual assistant. It made sense at the time, but at that time is before virtual assistants even was popular or anybody knew anything about it. So it was a little bit of a hurdle to get through.
Okay, so if there are people out there, and I hope there aren't, that don't know what a virtual assistant is, what is a virtual assistant?
A virtual assistant is essentially somebody who's an assistant that can work based on everything you have in your systems and so forth, but not in your office. They work in their office, and it's all virtual in regards to they get access to all your systems, and they're able to do everything that an assistant can do for you.
Awesome. Okay, back to...
So, anyway.
Back to you.
Straightforward. I found that a lot of my clients needed more marketing things, and so it started to go into that direction. Like I said, I always adapted to the market, so I started going into the marketing pace. The thing I learned the hard way is that because I have a lot of technical savvy and I've been in the corporate business for over 30 years as an assistant and doing all of these systems, I always had clients saying, well, you know how to do that, maybe you could do that. You know how to do that, maybe you can do that. And before I knew it, instead of having this many services, I had this many services, and it was way too much.
So that's a key thing for people who are business owners and solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, intrapreneurs, whatever you are. Realize that, yeah, you can do everything. We can all do everything. But focus in on the one thing that you do really well and start making money on it. Because you can't if you're being drawn in all these different directions. And that's what Katrina was finding.
Very true, very true. And I was really struggling because there are so many marketers out there, as I'm sure you're aware, that do social media and all these other pieces and branding and such. And they range from one end of the spectrum all the way down to the other end of the spectrum when it comes to cost. And that was the hardest part. Plus I would find, and I'm going to say this, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say this live.
What is it?
Social media. Social media has changed so much that I got to the point where I just hated doing it because in the original format when it started, it was great for small businesses. Now it's gotten to the point where you have to spend a lot of money to really get any momentum, and that was the hardest part as a business owner, trying to get my clients' rate of investment on their investment for that, and looking at that and saying, well, I'm spending this much, why am I not getting this? And so that's really why I honed into the websites, because the thing that I've learned with websites is you can manage them well, and you can also be able to track the analytics much better with a website than you can with social media. and they're true leads that come in, as well as making money. I mean, the thing is that's your best arsenal that you have, is your website. It shouldn't be a paperweight. You should be having all of these systems set up that are in the back end that are enticing your audience to come onto your website, sign up, get your product and your services, and you're making money.
So to get them to go onto your website, what do you think, before we even go into the social media aspect, what do you think everybody should know when they're getting a website built? Are there 3 key factors? Are there any main things that you absolutely have to have on your website? You don't need pages and pages and pages of information when you're just starting out. What do you need that will help you build your business?
Well, there's 3 key things, but the one big thing is to having the systems in the background set up, where you've got a client resource management. When I say that, I mean like a MailChimp, an Infusionsoft, Salesforce, whatever the case may be.
Okay, slow down. You're talking really fast, and you're also talking. I want to make sure that this is for people. I know a lot of you know what MailChimp is.
Yeah.
You know what Infusionsoft is. Confusionsoft, a lot of people call it. But I want to help those people who don't. So when you're saying in the back end, have all those things in alignment. Basically, if you have a newsletter, or you have a auto response, or you have something to get people an opt-in. Mm-hmm. So go through that a little slower, because I know that it's all hat for you. But I want to make sure that my audience understands.
Okay, well, I guess if I had to say the 3 key things, one is that you definitely want an opt-in, or what they call a pop-up. And when they say that, a lot of times if you've gone to a website and you see a pop-up box that pops up and says, we're giving this freebie away, do you want to be part of this? All you have to do is put in your name and email and so forth. And then that then goes into your back-end system, which is your client resource management, which is MailChimp and all these other ones we were talking about, to then house all that information, and then you're setting in these pieces so that now they're going to get that freebie, as well as other things down the line to keep them enticed. That's the one thing that you really should have on your website.
So you need a pop-up, and real important, you also need a freebie.
Yes.
You need something that's juicy, and they're going to really want it, because nobody's giving up emails anymore.
No.
And because we're getting newsletters, I get so many newsletters. I am unsubscribing all the time. So someone who actually puts in their information is someone who's truly interested in what you do for a business. So you have to make sure that you can follow up on them. And don't think that, they got that and I have their email and I'll send them something down the line. Make sure you have that resource behind to keep sending them all this stuff, so then you don't forget about it, because that's a hot lead.
Automation is key. Automation. So you don't have to do so much of it. Automation. So the pop-up is the big key. The other thing that I always recommend for clients too is, a lot of times people have content, where that may be key tips, webinars that they've done in the past, or training, or whatever the case may be. And that's where a membership site can really come in handy, where people will sign up for a one-time fee a lot of times, very inexpensive, and they get access to all that information. So now you have a captive audience that, number one, is paying a fee on just either a one-time fee or a monthly fee. I always recommend one-time fee, works much better. And that way they're paying for this, they don't mind being a part of that, and you're continually adding to that and adding value for them. And now they're going to pass it on, like the old Breck commercial, and so on and so on and so on. So that's another way to make money on the side while you're sleeping. You don't even have to do anything.
Yeah, because wouldn't it be nice? You go on vacation, you can sleep, you don't have to be there and selling, and your website is doing that for you.
Making money for you.
So, okay, I have a pop-up, and now I have a free get offer. Now, what do you think is a really good free offer?
That's the key thing. Like Toni said, you really want it to be juicy. And you want to think about, you want to try and take your entrepreneur hat off and put your client hat on. What is it your clients would really want from you that is juicy, that they can use right now, that's going to help them in their business? And a lot of people say, well, I don't want to give the farm away. That doesn't mean you're giving the farm away, but you want to give them something that they can use. Something that they're going to say, wow, that was totally worth putting my name and my email address in, just getting this piece. A lot of times people would do 5 tips, like the 5 tips of doing events.
Right.
And what are the key things that you want to have in place? Or maybe a form that they might have not thought about that now they have for their arsenal in regards to setting up for their clients. Or maybe you do systems and you can try and connect them with the various different systems and resources, but it has to be something juicy. If it's not, they're going to say, why bother?
Right, right. And don't worry about giving the farm away, because no one is going to have your expertise. No. I have a giveaway that's the top 10 ways to get butts in seats when you're filling events. Now, hey, that's great. And people can try it on their own. Some people can, some people can't. The ones that can't, they'll hire me because they need my help to do their event.
Yep.
Those are the ones that are my ideal client. Not everybody is. And maybe they don't need you right now. They're not ready yet.
Yep.
But they might need you later on. So you're still like nurturing them with your email campaigns, and they're in your list and they're in your community, and you're just building that relationship.
Yep. True. Very true.
All right, so we've got our pop-up, we've got our freebie.
Yep.
What else do we need on our website?
And of course with the membership site. But the one thing I always recommend too is you don't have to have a lot of pages where there's a contact and about and so on and so forth. Nowadays you can have a one-pager that has all that information within it, because a lot of people, as we know, they're surfers. They want to go through things quickly. They don't want to have to go from one page to another page to another page. So I always recommend, if you're just starting out, start off with a one-pager that has all your information down, and as they scroll down, they can see all the information about you. Keeping in mind that you want the juicy stuff up front and the other stuff down below, because you're going to have those people that are going to look at that juicy stuff and they're either going to sign up and be a part of your tribe, or they're going to go away. Or you have those others that are going to read through every little bit and get to the end and decide, you know what, this is really good, I'm going to sign up.
Okay, so I thought of something really... Oh. I thought of it, then I got listening to you and I just lost it. Hey, I tell you, we don't plan anything around here.
No.
All organic.
That's what it's all
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
That's what it's all about.
So what about video on your website?
Video is key too, because as I said, people like to really see things quickly. Some people like to read and some people are visual people, but for the most part, audiences are very visual. So having a key video on the top talking about you, who you are, maybe an interview that you've had that kind of talks about your business and your expertise, perfect.
And how long should that video be?
No longer than 3 minutes. If it's any longer than 3 minutes, people are going to look at it and go, no.
All right, everyone talks about SEO. What the heck's an SEO?
Well, and there's 2 types of SEO. There's the soft SEO and there's the hard SEO. And I'm going to go over that.
Okay, thank you.
So the soft SEO are the things you can do yourself, where you put keywords and so forth in your text that you know your clients are going to look you up. So in other words, I'm sure you have, or if you haven't, Google keyword searches. You can go online and find those out and figure out how people are trying to find coaches or how people are trying to find event planners. These are the keywords that you want to have peppered throughout your text. You don't want to go overboard because Google will chastise you for that. But if you've got it here and there, it's going to help you a lot. Plus in the titles too, by putting a lot of things in titles. In my title, I've got KG Website Designs. You know exactly what I do, websites. And also the domains are really important too, because you're having, all of those domains would have a lot of those things in it. Like I've got KG Membership Site Designs, KG Website Designs, KG Membership, so on and so forth. So that way it helps get more key images in there and so forth in regards to your tagging. That's soft SEO. Hard SEO a lot of times is where you will go to somebody and they kind of go through and they go extensively into the Google searches and they go extensively into the meta tags and the keywords, and they go way into depth of that, and it usually costs quite a bit of money to try and get that all in place. And it has to be an ongoing thing because the keywords constantly change.
So that's when we want the hard SEO, we want someone like Katrina.
I want to hire somebody, yes.
Soft SEO, we might be able to do that on ourselves.
Yeah, a little bit here and there.
Okay. All right. What other things do we need to know? Are there, and I know that you need to have contact information on your website.
Oh, definitely.
Now, if you are a solopreneur or entrepreneur and you're working out of your home, do you put your home address in there?
You don't always have to, so what I recommend is just put your city and your state. That's all you need. So you don't need to actually put the address. Plus, you can always go to your local post office. A lot of times they can give you an address that looks professional, and that way it looks a little bit more professional. It's not going to your home, especially when people look it up. But keep in mind, people will look it up.
Right. Now, if you're going to do pages, are there specific titles in those pages that work best, or does it matter?
In the URL is the biggest key, where you're going to have those titles in there. But in regards to the page itself, you want it to be a little bit snazzy. I'm sure you've seen those websites where they say about me, about us, who we are. So what I've done in ours is I say, who is KG Website Designs? Okay. So now I'm saying it again in the URL, and now you're going to go in and see that instead of all about me. And so by playing on that, and or getting connected with us,
right,
those type of things, by playing on those words for your pages, it helps entice your audience more instead of about us.
It also makes that SEO go up.
Yes.
Another soft SEO thing.
Yes.
See, I'm learning.
Exactly.
Hey,
yes.
We're all learning here.
Yes.
So, how do we get a hold of you if we're interested in working with KG Website Designs?
Well, we're online at kgwebsitedesigns.com. We have our email, which is kgarcia@kgwebsitedesigns.com. See, get that? Where you have all of those in.
Okay, let's go back. I just thought of something else.
Yes.
So, I heard that I should purchase everything that's got my name in it. So, when you're talking about websites, not only your business website, but your personal name website.
Yes.
Those domains. Need those?
Yes, definitely. Especially if you have a common name like John Smith. And that's going to be, with a John Smith, you're going to have to put your middle initials in there. Or
right,
you might even have to spell it out because it's so common. And you would be surprised. I actually went online and I got mine early enough for KatrinaGarcia.com. But believe it or not, there's a lot more Katrina Garcias out there, and if you try and find one now, you can't get one.
Yeah.
And you have to put your middle initial and so forth. So those are the kind of the tricks of the trade as well. But it's always best to have your name, because if you don't have your name, someone else will. And it's most people look you up by your name, your business name, and what type of industry you're in.
All right. So is there anything else that you would like to share that you think, oh, Toni didn't ask me that question, and I really should have shared that?
The one thing I just want to say about your websites that I don't think people realize is they are an employee that works 24/7. They don't sleep. They don't take vacations. They don't go out on sick leave. They work for you all the time. And that's why I really got into this, is because I really wanted something that had a really good rate of return, which I truly believe your website does. It's the best place to put everything there about you, contacts, your information, the things that you're working on. You even have your social media on there. You can have your social media feeds. You can have your links to your social media, which I always recommend. Mm-hmm. And the other thing, I know you interviewed Bridget Brady, and like she said, you want to be all over the place. And that's true too, because that's going to give you even better SEO. Because if you think about it, the first thing that pops up usually when you put your name in, your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn.
Right.
They have excellent SEO. And the more you do that and put your name in there and all of those, you're really going to come up to the top just with that alone.
Okay, let's go back to the pop-up, because this is another question I always have. So I have this freebie. How do people find that freebie?
Well, there's a couple things you can do. One, I would take that link for that freebie, which you normally can do, and put it out to your social media and let people know, hey, I've got a freebie. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if you don't like it. Let me know if there's things I can improve on it, because it's a great way to get feedback. And it's a great way to get people over to your website and start looking, because once they do that pop-up, now they're going to start to peruse just like in a shopping mall. Mm-hmm. They go into one shop and then they see, oh, there's another one over here and another one over here. And that's the whole point with your website, is they're going to start looking through in more depth and finding out who you really are and what you can provide for them.
Now, if I have products or services, how do I make money on my website?
Well, with products, you can set it up with an e-commerce setup,
okay,
where you can set all that up in the back end, and that way they can go in and they can order your products and they can be delivered to their home and that type of thing. With the service, that's what I like in regards to memberships too, is because you can actually even do that through memberships,
Okay.
where you're providing a service, especially with coaches and so forth and webinars, and they can provide that information where they have a portal just for their members,
Right.
members only, and they get to sign in and get all of that information. And it's interesting how many times people will see a website and you'll see members only, and they'll usually always, oh, members only, what's this all about? And you will actually entice people just because of that, because they want to know, what's that about? What are they getting? Maybe I should sign up.
Okay, now quick question is, I was just in a conversation the other day, and you cannot put in your, at least Facebook doesn't like it,
No.
when you put your URL or whatever in your picture or in anything, but they say you can put it in the comments.
Yes.
What do you suggest? So I've got this great freebie, come to my website, check the comments below for the link.
Yeah, I would do that and just show them in the right direction. I mean, keep in mind that, like I said, that's why I hate social media, because it's constantly changing. The rules are constantly changing, and it's really hard to keep up with it. So
Can you do it at LinkedIn? Do they allow
yeah,
it?
you can do it with LinkedIn.
Okay, yeah. So if you're a real business to business kind of service, you should be using LinkedIn anyway. But that might be an easier way to get those leads. Because the whole thing is, I've spent all this money and all this time on my website, which I have,
Yeah.
and it's still just sitting there. It's not working for me because I'm not getting people to go to it.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, you have it all beautiful, and now it's up and it's beautiful, but how do people know about it? So, that's the one thing is you have to be putting it out there. You should be telling people to go to your website for whatever it is. Don't be handing things out at events.
No.
Maybe just say, hey,
Go to
give
my
me your
website.
email and I'll send you a link to my website. Let them do it. And that, because the more audience you get and the people are clicking onto your website, your SEO also goes up, correct?
Yeah. And the one thing that I always recommend too is if you're going to networking events and so forth, is asking questions. Like for instance, if you're with somebody and you're a coach and you ask them, well, so how are you having why are you having problems with business? So tell me more about it. Well, I have a freebie that I think would really help you. All I need is your name and your email address, and then you can get on my list, and I get all these great tips that are free, and I'll hand them to you. I mean, this is stuff that'll help you with your business. Who wouldn't do that? I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's like, well, it would help me grow my business. Why not?
Exactly, and you're not selling them.
Nope.
They might think, it depends on how you're doing it.
Yes.
A lot of people it could be selling.
Yes.
But, if you do it the right way and
Correct.
you do it, it comes from a place of love, I think that is a great idea. Thank you.
And I think that's the biggest piece too when you're doing your websites, is know that there's an abundance out there for everybody, and it's not a matter of competing with somebody else. And when you start getting into that, it starts to get mired, and you start to look at this person's website and what is that person doing? Don't do that. Don't do that. Just do what feels right for you and get all of the information on there that really feels true to you and your audience, and how you're going to help them. That's the biggest piece. How are you going to help them today? That's the piece.
And understand that it's give.
Yep.
Some people will just like take, and they're the takers. Don't spend your time on them because you already know that they're not going to buy into anything. They're just there for the freebies. Everybody's got those. We all have it. But there are those people that's like, oh, thank you so much. I have a tips and tricks newsletter that goes out. And if anybody wants it, it's at CarusoSignatureEvents.com.
Don't forget to watch it.
But it's all about giving. There is
Yeah.
no sales in it at all.
No.
It's not about that. And people will actually reply to my newsletter going, this was some great information. Thank you so much. Because when they're ready for me to do business with them, they'll ask.
They will.
I don't have to continually be selling to them. So to come from a very giving and grateful way, and just know that what you have, your expertise, is yours, and be authentic, and people will buy into that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Katrina.
Thank
I
you.
have some questions. We have little questions at the end.
Okay.
Just to make it fun. A lot of them are the same. I switch up some, but so this one I give to everyone. You're a new addition to the crayon box. What color are you?
New addition to the crayon box. Caramel.
Caramel.
Caramel. It sounds smooth and lovely.
Sounds like you need a dentist.
Caramel, yeah.
That's where I always go.
I'm a sweet kind of gal. What can I say?
All right. What's the funniest thing that's happened to you recently? Or the strangest thing? Because you never know.
Funniest thing that happened to me. Oh, okay. I'll tell you the funniest thing. I know this is a family oriented.
We're not G-rated. It's okay.
I had a funny incident that happened with my husband and I when we went camping one time, and we were out at Lake Nacimiento, and we're out there camping, and there's a van above us, and there's a tent below us, and we're just having a good time, and the van is a squeaking, and the tent is so it was quite interesting evening as we're sitting there going, should we be joining them, or should we just, I don't know.
See, I'm videotaping.
Yeah. So that was a funny thing.
Okay. I thought it was going to go somewhere else, so thank you. That wasn't bad. What's your favorite word?
Oh, my favorite word is plethora.
Oh, I like that word.
I love plethora. I got that from Pirates of the Caribbean.
My son, he was 3 years old. He was sitting in the back of the car, and he says, "Mom, what's plethora mean?" And I'm like, "You're 3." And I said, "It means you have a lot of something."
Yes,
and I remember him looking up, and I'm in the room, you're watching him, and he's like, plethora. I mean, it's one of those words.
Yep.
And that always takes me back to that good memory. So thank you.
Yep.
I enjoyed that. If you could live anywhere, where would you live?
I could live anywhere. Where would I live? Gosh, that's a hard one. Well, I'm a California born and raised, so and I do like the cold a little bit. And I did live in Colorado for a little bit.
You can go out of the country too, you know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Italy. I'd have to say, if I went out of the country, it'd probably be Italy, Venice, something like that, because I love pasta.
I love
Pasta.
What sound or noise do you love?
Sound or noise do I love? I'd have to say music. I've always loved music. It doesn't matter if it's jazz or it's just music always. Even when I had my son and I was pregnant with him, all I did all day practically was listen to
Okay, I think
music.
this is quite interesting because Bridget Brady, who also does social media, answered the exact same thing.
I love music. In fact, when I'm working, that's what I do.
I have to have TV on.
I listen to music.
No. For me, it's a child's laughter.
Oh.
That's the noise I love. Anyway, room, desk, and car. Which one do you clean first?
Room, desk, and car. Probably the car. It's easier to clean.
No one has ever said room. And car.
The car. Because I spend a lot of time in the car.
See, I take the car and have it cleaned. I don't clean it.
Yeah. My husband and I are the old-fashioned. We like to do everything ourselves. So.
Oh, good for you. Well, it has been a pleasure. And
Thank you.
so excited that you came on the show.
Thank you.
And I learned a lot. I hope you've learned a lot. And I will have links to contact with Katrina if you have any questions or any comments. You can go on. Do you have any freebies that you want to give away?
I actually do have a freebie.
I love
Believe
freebies.
it or not, I do have a freebie.
So we can get your email.
And this freebie is different than anything else. Just kind of a caveat is I learned a lot along the way on how people don't really protect themselves online. So this is a 50-page book on how to, it's an ebook, and how to get all those pieces in place for your family to protect yourself. It's more geared towards the tweens, which are, 13 and up, but you know what? Anybody can read it and utilize any of the information on there. It goes about social media, how to protect yourself, what to post, what not to post, social etiquette, whole works.
Awesome. Well, that's a nice one. Gonna have to go get that myself.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Katrina, and hope you come back and watch us again. Please. Check us out and
don't forget to go on our website, CarusoSignatureEvents.com.
It's really pretty.
Great info.
Yeah,
Check
she
out
wrote
our
it.
pop-up. Check out our pop-up. It's really good.
Katrina did all the work. That's all I can say. All right. So if you'd like to know more about Talking Tips with Toni, please subscribe, and we're going to be putting out a video a week. So I look forward to seeing you again real soon. Bye.
Bye.